All right. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Goddess Spotlight with Liaserenityrose. And we are on episode 7. And we are doing a Q&A here with PaulyB and Victor McKnight.
Howdy, partners.
And I have my lovely co-host here, Coryncidence.
Coincidence. Hi.
All right, so shall we get started on this Q&A?
Yeah, let's go.
Please.
Aye, Captain.
Okay, here's my first question for you guys. How did you get into making music? How did you become interested in making music, and what inspired you to pursue this career? Like, tell us your backstory on that.
Pauly, you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first. It's a bit of a long one, but well, I've always been a fan. Like growing up, there were like websites like Newgrounds and like Bandcamp and OC Remix, and I'd always been a big fan of those. In 2003, Newgrounds opened up the audio portal, and I saw a whole bunch of like Sonic remixes and like all sorts of other cool things, and I was like, oh, I wish I could do something like that. Well, I would have my chance. In Christmas of 2005, I got a program called Cakewalk Kinetic for Christmas, and well, I did a couple practice songs before I actually went live on Newgrounds, and I actually still have my CD of like old stuff. I'll probably post some more later, but anyway, I did a little bit of practicing, and in the spring of 2006, I did a remix. My first remix was Sonic 3 Ice Cap, and yeah, ever since then, like, I've been posting so much more. I actually got an award on Newgrounds my first week of being there with my Mystic Cave remix, so I kind of knew this was for me. Of course, it's always been a dream of mine to write music for Sonic and Sega because, well, I mean, it's legendary. We all know this. When it comes to video game music, Sonic is definitely up there, like top tier, along with like Mega Man, Metroid, etc. Very well known for music, and I really want to be a part of that. So that's where I started.
Wow, that's really amazing, Polly. How about you, Victor?
All right. By the way, I just want to forewarn you. If you hear my dog in the background, I'm sorry. He's sort of a yipper.
Doggo.
He is a valued member of this stream. Valued.
As for where I started with music, is this a question on more composition or just music in general?
This question is basically what got you into making music.
All right, sure thing. I would say my middle school orchestra teacher. I remember he knew I had a little bit of a fondness for like video game music in general. I remember as a kid I always wanted to be a video game composer, and while that's not necessarily what I'm doing now, it's what I'm kind of doing. I remember I started off not with production software, but actually notation software, and it's actually online. It's still around today. It's called Noteflight, and it's free. It can still be used today. Yeah, you can still find my works up there too. Some of my first stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, I've heard of that site.
So yeah, that's where I started.
wow, that is that. I always love hearing everyone's backstory, and it just, and then you go to now. Wow, like you guys are both amazing in composing music. That's like we actually I have mentioned this to you, Victor, when we actually met at the Revel in person, that Gokin and I actually do play your music for like the opening for cartoon nights.
Yeah, I did notice that. I'm very appreciative. Both you and Goken were super nice too.
Yes. We also Like every time Goken's like, "Oh, Victor came out with another music. We gotta play it." And I said, "Absolutely."
Thank you. I have been on break from music for a bit, so I feel a little out of tune. Out of tune. Sorry, funny phrasing. But
Trying to make the joke. Thank you for getting there first.
I just opened Pro Tools again for the first time in like weeks, and I'm just like, oh, what am I doing? So
I feel that.
I
feel that.
I feel
so
a little
hard.
like out of practice.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Looks like we have an audience question. Oren, would you like to read that question?
Would love to. All right, so from the prankster, hey, how you doing? Question for the both of you. I've always been a fan of your music and work. So what was the most fun project that you've separately worked on?
Ooh.
Separately worked on? Like, because
I
Pauly and I have never worked.
I think she's asking you both. I think what she's trying to say, she's asking you both separately.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Pauly, you're first.
Sure, why not? Alphabetical and all that. Prankster, what's up? Favorite project that I've done? Well, I have a lot of fun with all of them. What can I say? I have a song called Get To It that was like, it's supposed to be like an 80s aerobic sounding techno piece. And I had so much fun making it, and a lot of people that have heard it said that it sounds very bright and happy. And well, that would make a lot of sense. I felt bright and happy that day, that time that I made it. So that one was pretty fun, and it came out great. Everybody loved it. It was used in a indie game that can be found online. I should probably pull that up somewhere and put that in the chat somewhere. But
Please
do.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's always fun making music that's just really adrenaline pumping and fast paced and just sounds bright.
I mean, those are the three words that best describe 80s aerobics music.
That's
So-
the truth of it.
Checked all the boxes.
Paul, you done?
Just about to say, Victor,
Oh
what
yeah,
about you?
I'm just
I was like, hello. So I've been asked this question many times, and it's always like, well, I don't know. I don't like to choose favorites. It's like choosing your
Like picking a
favorite child.
kid.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That's Corin, we share the same brain cell, okay?
We are both musicians and composers. Of course we do.
I will say though, it's always like the next thing I'm working on. I'm always so excited and proud to like showcase for one reason or another, because I feel like I'm always trying to experiment with different styles of music. Like always, like every new song I make is a different project in of itself. It's different energy, different goal in mind, and I feel like for that reason it's also hard to pick favorites. But I will say my next project, in terms of a personal and emotional attachment, is probably one of my most hype projects, but I really can't talk about it more. But I can say this year that it'll be arriving this year.
Be knowing, everyone, you heard it here first. A new Victor McKnight song will be arriving next year. Tell your friends.
Yes.
And if I'm lying, don't sue me.
Yeah, be struck by a flying ice cream truck.
nice.
All right. Ooh, here is my next question for you both. What got you both into the Sonic franchise?
The Sonic franchise. Well, I've been a fan as long as I can remember. I grew up with Sonic 2 was my first game on the Genesis. I was 4 years old when that game came out. Yeah, I played it pretty much my whole life. The Adventures of Sonic was on around that time as well, so that was a lot of fun. I don't know. It was always one of those games that was just very chill and very simple to play, and have fun and kind of immerse yourself into Sonic's world, basically. And I started really falling in love with Sonic when it came to the Advanced series. I saw, after years of hearing anything about Sonic, I'm at a Best Buy. I look over on the rack and I see Sonic Advance and Sonic Advance 2 right next to each other. I'm like, Sonic on a Nintendo console?
Hey, yeah.
Mind blown. And, my favorite thing about games has always been portability. Like, I took my Game Boy and my Game Boy Advance SP with me everywhere throughout my childhood. You couldn't see me without it. So, the Advance series and the Mega Collection on the GameCube became my most played games in the Sonic franchise. And I still play the Advance series on my stream a lot. It's kind of a tradition on my birthday and on Christmas to play the Sonic Advance trilogy.
Wow. That's really cool, Pauly.
if it's cool if I post another link in the chat, I just want to show people my live stream so you guys can...
Or not everybody, but you two, post your links.
Appreciate that. Yeah, because I want you guys to enjoy the Advance trilogy with me. I gotta show you guys my page.
Ooh. How about you, Victor?
For the question, I'm going to see if I can share a picture here because I have picture backup. I actually shared it in the chat, but I can share it for the stream here.
Oh.
We'll see if this works. Is that showing up on stream?
Let's see.
Yeah, I see something.
I see a picture, yeah.
Yep.
Cool, yeah, so,
Precious.
that is that is me playing Sonic 2 as well. That's the first Sonic game I ever played, but I am actually not playing on a Sega Genesis, as you no doubt can tell. You probably can't tell, it's a pretty bad photo, but I am playing on a Radica plug-and-play.
Oh, wow. It's been a while since I've heard that name.
Yeah, that's
Right.
retro, bro.
Yeah, and you look it up now, it's like a $90 piece of equipment. I don't have it anymore because of a house fire, but that was my first, or one of my first exposures to Sonic. We also played Sonic Mega Collection Plus on the PlayStation 2 as well as Sonic Heroes. I actually didn't grow up with Sonic Adventure.
Hey,
So
me neither, man.
I'm going to spare you of my controversial Sonic Adventure opinions, but yeah.
Controversial,
But I also,
he says.
yeah, but I grew up with Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Heroes, so I'm already poisoned.
Incredible.
So that was my first game, and I think that was me playing Sonic 2 Up North.
Ooh. That's
By
cool.
Up North, I say Up North, it was at our cabin. We always called it Up North.
Was the cabin up north?
Yes.
Then that would be why.
No, actually, it was down south. I don't know why we
That's
called
so
it that.
weird.
That's really cool. Ooh,
If I have any more picture references, though, I can certainly share them. That's one of those
Thank
weird
you.
things, though.
Please do.
So Kevin has asked a question. Who are your biggest musical inspirations? And if you could collab with anyone for something, who would you collab with?
Well, Victor McKnight, of course.
Oh,
It's gonna happen sometime. I guarantee it.
What are you, a dingus? You want to collaborate with somebody like me? No, I definitely want to collaborate with Pauly. I have so many people I want to collaborate with, actually. So that's like just anybody I look up to, which is like hundreds of people. Though I will say, Kevin knew what he was asking because he knows something
He
about
always does.
about a future project I'm doing. So it's like, if you could collaborate with someone, who would you? And it's like, well, one of them is like, I would answer that, but I'm unfortunately already working with the person. So, I want to say, some of my biggest inspirations, really good question. Crush 40, obviously. Hyperpotions, I want to say, just, anybody in the Sonic Second Sound team in that boat, of course. I'm also, this is kind of a out of nowhere inspiration, but when I first got into composition, it was because of, I think you pronounce it Nobuo Uematsu, the composer for the Final Fantasy franchise.
Ooh.
As well as Yoko Shimomura, who is the composer for Kingdom Hearts.
Ooh.
Legends.
Good choice.
Very.
I guess for myself, I don't know. I've always been a huge mark for Tomoya Otani. Oh yeah, Otani. I love the things that's happening with him right now. Yeah, Otani-san. I love what's happening with him right now. Like, he's making strides, but I've always fallen in love with his drum and bass style. Ever since Unleashed, I just instantly became a big fan. Drum and bass is my favorite genre. As far as collaborations go, I'll take what I can get. There are so many people that I would like to collab with, that there's so many different styles to blend with. But it takes time. So we'll see what the future holds.
Right. It feels like, personally, like, Paul, you might relate to this, but it feels like I've got a queue of people that I'm looking to collaborate with, or folks that have reached out to me. He's like, hey, can we do a song together? And I'm like, I'm sorry, there's like 20 or 30 people ahead of you. It always seems like there's like too many people that want to work together, and it's all at the same time.
I have a couple pieces in the works right now. One of them I need to commission a violinist and a guitarist. Another one I need to commission a female singer. Another one I need to, I think it was guitars. Yeah. It was just guitars, that one. But yeah, I've got a lot in the works and a lot planned, so we'll see what happens.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got like 10 projects going on at once right now. I have a whole list.
I wish that were me.
And that was me last year, man. I was wishing that I could get back to this point, and then I found a much better job. I'm much happier there now, and once we get this new place, I'm moving next month to a house, hopefully, with my roommates. And I feel like that'll really free up, my mind. Like, I'll feel a lot better. I'll be more productive. Just something to work towards, I guess.
Ooh.
Absolutely. You cannot make good art unless your basic needs are met.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
I agree. Oh, okay. Here is my next question for you guys. So tell us your experience of being invited as special guest to Sonic Revolution's 2023 in-person events, which I know, Pauly, you actually did that concert.
Yeah, it was flabbergasting.
Thank you, Pauly.
Yeah, I still feel so bad about what happened to you.
Don't feel bad. You saved me.
That's true, and people absolutely loved what they heard. They were dancing. You had a flashlight, like Firefly tribute from people in their phones. It was great.
I remember I landed. You told me about that. I was like, my flight was just late. I didn't die or anything.
That was better than my performance, man. I was performing the Eggman theme from Sonic Legacy, and my voice just kind of blew out halfway through. But I recovered just in time to nail Sky Chase. But that second song, oh boy. As far as being called as a special guest, absolutely flabbergasting. Like, I'm just some guy who makes music who really likes Sonic, and you know what? I'm in my mid-30s. Is that weird? Maybe a little bit, but hey, it's been a dream of mine, and I'm still chasing it. So to have that kind of honor to be able to perform on stage, that's near dream come true. It's a step in the right direction, and I'm very happy that it happened.
Yeah.
As for me, I for the 3 hours I was there, I feel like I could just tell a giant story about my experiences with Sonic Revolution, and the time I was there, it was all positive. I really loved Sonic Revolution in the entire. I was gonna say in its entirety. I was only there for half the event, but I'm sure it was all great. But I want to say meeting people is always my favorite part of going to conventions, and Sonic Revolution definitely out of everybody I wanted to meet, I met absolutely everybody except for Tyson S, who was there an hour before I landed, and then he left. Right as
Yeah, he kind of had to leave early for something.
Not always how it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and Pauly's like, I'm so sorry that happened. Like, Pauly, you saved me. I feel like I really want to give extra kudos to Pauly here because not only did he drive me around for free, he bought me pizza, and then he drove me back to my motel. So, yeah, thank you, Pauly.
Hey, man, we're family. That's what we got to look out for one another.
I remember I was very tired that day, but it was super fun. When your body gets so tired that it just doesn't care anymore, and it's just on adrenaline.
that happens to me so often. It's kind of a weird trip, being that tired but still active. It's like you're floating on clouds or something.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really cool, being there live for that concert. And we also did this very special thing before the concert too. I'm not sure if you knew this, Victor, but we actually did a whole crowd, the whole attendees and all of us singing Undefeatable.
I saw the video, yeah. I thought that was awesome. I think Kellen Quinn or Tomoyo Otani might have liked it.
Ooh. Nice. Yeah, I was actually there recording from the stage, if you see to fully see the audience, and I think that was a pretty good idea to do that.
Right, right.
Yeah, different angles and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
That concert was pretty lit. I mean, we did get one person that came up and that was like, "Hey, can you turn the music down a little bit? It's a concert." Yeah, but it's kind of hard to hear each other talk. Yeah,
you've gotten
it's a concert.
A noise complaint. You've done the concert right.
Exactly. See.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Are there any more questions?
Not presently. I'm keeping an eye on the chat.
Okay. Here is. Ooh, okay. What is your favorite Sonic music?
Frick.
Anything by Otani.
Otani's great.
Like I said, I really love his drum and bass. Can I pick one? No, I can't. I really can't. Unleashed was amazing. Colors soundtrack was amazing. Forces soundtrack was amazing. Frontiers, TSR, pretty much everything Otani touches is gold. But if there was one Otani, all right, there was one song that turned me on to Otani to begin with, and that was Cool Edge, Day, the Day mix.
Right, so that's from Sonic Unleashed, yeah?
Yeah, that's Unleashed. I heard that. I heard how pleasant it was, and yet it was really adrenaline pumping and fast paced. And
that's probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite staple of Sonic music is when it gets if you took away the drums completely, it is a beautiful piece. But then it's got the triple stacked drums with a super fast hi-hat. And it's yeah, that's where it's at. I am more attuned to their live stuff. I really I say live stuff, it's still produced, but more live instrumentation. So, even then, live instrumentation. Electric guitar, drums, stuff that you gotta record to really get that magic, So I really like Crush 40's work. I really like Tomoyo Otani's more orchestral pieces. I know some of the Frontier stuff had multiple composers. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but yeah, I really love the live performances and stuff.
Ooh.
Oh, there's so many.
Mm-hmm.
That was the question, right? That was an answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to add
mentally
one more
forgot the
thing.
question.
And I'm going to get the whole entire chat to boo me here. I liked the cyberspace music from Frontiers. It's my favorite stuff. Now go ahead, send your boos, cascade your boos down.
And what
think
is
it's all
so
right.
wrong with that? It's a bop.
It's true.
I think the cyberspace stuff is good and harmless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well said.
It just fits Sonic. It fits.
Fits
Mm-hmm.
the situation. It does some good storytelling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
The cyberspace songs is where you can rave at the night concerts.
That's actually true. I can actually agree. It does sound like that.
Incredible. Thank you, Gokin.
It do be sound like that.
It do.
Gokin gets it.
Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you guys. What music program do you both use to make your music? And which music program would you recommend?
I have only ever used one program, and I would definitely recommend it. It's called Cakewalk Kinetic. It was made in 2004 and made to run on a Windows XP, but still runs on everything. It's a 16-bit program, so it doesn't really eat a lot of data. In 2016, when I made my comeback from my 6-year hiatus, I found it on Amazon for $20. I'm dead serious, $20.
Wow.
And you can be a music producer. In a way, you can start.
A full program for $20?
Yeah, and I've used this program ever since I started way back in 2006. But I'm always finding new things to do with it. That's kind of the cool thing about, DAWs like that. And I've seen Ableton, I've seen Magix, and they all kind of work the same. Like, you just discover new things every time you work with it.
Mm-hmm. That I can agree.
All right, so I use Music Maker for the PlayStation 2. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's the best one ever.
Yeah, actually, unironically.
I use Pro Tools.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use Pro Tools. It's quote unquote industry standard. It's also the one that crashed the most.
Oh no.
I like Pro Tools, and it's really good if you're being trained on it. But if you're just starting out, then I could recommend a bunch. It would be probably FL Studio is good for electronic music. Ableton is good for a lot of electronic and hip hop. And Logic is good at covering more everything Pro Tools does, but it doesn't crash. Logic is basically a grown-up garage band.
I
Good way
agree.
of describing Logic. I will be stealing that. Thank you, Victor.
Yes, no worries.
You should check out Sega Fun and Games on the Genesis. They have a music maker there too. It's hilarious.
Okay.
I should have while Polly was answering that, I was frantically trying to look up Music Maker games. I've never played Music Maker for the PlayStation 2.
Ironically, it doesn't suck. It is a decent music maker, which is why I thought you were being serious.
No, I've never used any of them in my life. I want to say, I answered this question before, but when I was using Noteflight, which was music notation software, they had a playback function, and you could export MIDI files, which are essentially like music composition files, just instrumentation, and I would load that into a program called Synthesia, and that's what I would use to get some higher quality sound for my pieces.
Oh, interesting.
That's a good technique.
Let's see. Are there any other questions in the
I'm
chat?
keeping an eye. There are no audience questions presently.
Okay.
Keep with your list, Leah.
Okay. All right.
You just made the list.
Leah is the list.
Bum, bum, bum.
Ooh, okay. What song was the most difficult for you to write or make?
I'm
Huh.
gonna look at my discography really quick. Hold
Yeah,
on.
this might take a minute to think about.
Through every
I have
song
like
you've ever
50 songs,
remember
okay?
writing it.
Are we
Which one
talking
was the-
original songs or
okay.
covers?
I
Probably
actually got
original
one.
songs, right?
I'm presuming both. After all, like 2/3 of my stuff is actually Sonic stuff. I would say the most difficult for me to do was Open Your Heart. And I actually have a really, really fun story with this. It spans 2 years. I would hang out in Hyperpotion's Twitch channel, and then Johnny Gioeli heard a project that we did for Sonic Legacy. So I was in talks with both of them. I wanted Ian to do some of the guitar work, and I wanted Johnny to do some of the vocals, like him and I to duet them. But they were far too expensive, and also they couldn't really do it because of Sega licensing and whatnot. You know, that would kind of harm them. So we'd been in talks for a couple months because Ian from Hyper Potions really, really wanted to do it. But then him and Kevin found out about the licensing issues, and they were like, "Oh, I can't do it. I'm sorry, man." But we were in talks about it for a while. So instead, I got Econeo, one of our former guitarists for Sonic Legacy, and Siskonic. He's another Sonic YouTuber and content creator and musician. And I got Cisco to sing the vocals, and Econeo did the guitars. Both of them did a really, really good job. More problems happened. I went through 2 computers just to get this done because the editing was so complex. I had like 6.5 minutes of material and like 60 voice clips to edit. And I would always get like almost done. My program would crash and the file would be corrupt, so I had to restart it. Luckily, with all the vocals and guitars and everything still there. But after a while, after my computer kept crashing, I gave it to another musician in the Sonic community known as Jamch. And he did the editing for it. My roommate did a video for it. At the end of this, I had like 10 people working on the project. And it took 2 years to get up there. And when I finally got up there, I was relieved. It was shared by the official Sega Twitter on Sonic's 30th anniversary, so that was quite an honor. But yeah, it doesn't get much attention now because unfortunately there was some drama with the guitarist that I used, and yeah, I'm not going to get further into that, but it kind of killed like all the hype that I had for it. A sad end, but hey, it came out well. I'm proud of it. Sorry, I know that was a bit of a long story, but that's why it was so difficult.
Please.
All right. As for me, now the question is, what song have I had the most difficulty working on? Right?
Yes.
I want to say, and this might surprise some of you folks, but Door into Summer. I remember with Door into Summer, I had the worst case of writer's block. And I wanted to make it original and creative and how I envisioned it in my brain. And I have the worst time with any of my songs getting it down exactly as I pictured it in my brain, that I just have to experiment from there and just sort of recapture what I thought I was going for. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but I remember I had so many different versions of my Door into Summer cover. I probably had about 6 or 7 different versions. And the one that I ended up posting is the one I settled on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely the creative creative block is the worst.
Right.
Especially with all those ideas flowing.
Yeah,
It's actually what led me to take my current break, because I'm like, I shouldn't force myself to write, because I've been doing that to try and fight it for so long that it's kind of like, let's just take a step back, then I can come back, and then I know I have a bunch of ideas like built up.
Yeah, like, don't you just hate it? Like, you have all these ideas in your head, but you can't get it out, Like, whether you're doing, like, an art piece or composing music, like, or writing music, like, don't you hate it when that happens? Like, you have the idea, but you just can't put it.
It takes a lot to get an idea from your head onto the program, and then you have to not only get the ideas down, you have to adjust the sound to your liking or what you actually hear, because most default instruments or whatever, if you're using a DAW, don't exactly sound, good. So you have a lot of adjusting to do, which takes time.
I want to say the best, I might have said this on a Sonic Revolution live stream before, but the best piece of advice, not even advice, but validation I got was, back when I was in college, a lot of my professors were just, they were professional music producers that knew what they were doing, worked in the studio regularly. And they go through this too, where they just go get into creative ruts, and they just can't do anything about it. And it was kind of validating to know that it's like, it's not a mark of a bad producer. It's just like something that happens to everyone, no matter how successful you are, how big you are. Everybody goes through it.
Burnout sucks.
Ooh, looks like we have questions. Corn, would you like to read questions?
Yep.
A question from the chat?
Okay, so some of these, Doom, yes, your question has already been asked. Goken asks, as a cartoon night host for Sonic Revo, what is your all-time favorite cartoon?
I know where you're going with this.
Frick.
Yeah, we have to think of every cartoon that we've seen. I'm 35 years old.
All
I've been
of them.
watching cartoons
Everyone.
since I was a little toddler.
I have a few, actually. Can I list a few?
Yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
I mean, who's stopping you?
So I want to say, everybody loves SpongeBob.
Hey.
Yes.
I have a strong love for The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Ooh.
And I also, one of my all-time favorite shows is Futurama.
Ooh.
Good
Nice.
choice.
Nice choices.
All right, I've got a few. Of course, Goken knows the poison that is Ren and Stimpy, and you guys all know. Anything Sonic. My favorite Sonic one would have to be Sonic X, personally.
Ooh.
Other cartoons that I've really liked. Wow. Okay, this takes some time. Ninja Turtles, 1987.
Ooh.
I think pretty much everything Nickelodeon in the mid 90s. First thing that comes to mind besides SpongeBob, Rocko's Modern Life. Why not?
Ooh.
I've actually really fallen in love with Bluey lately, and I have you people at Sonic Revolution to thank for that.
Why are all my friends
good
Bluey
reason
fans?
Bluey is so good.
Okay,
It's so
I'm
wholesome.
afraid.
For no good reason.
I just thought of one that I forgot to mention, which was Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's another one of my favorites.
Ooh, we've been watching Courage the Cowardly Dog
Yes.
during both cartoon nights.
Right, that's a good one. Because it just pushes the boundaries a lot.
Yes, it definitely does. Like, oh my gosh, but yeah, Bluey, like, yeah, Doom, you heard it. Polly is also a fan of Bluey. Doom loves Bluey.
Well, now it's going to be a Sonic Revolution thing. Okay, when we were in California, there were like 5 of us in the hotel room and whatnot. And 3 of us had to share a bed. Of course, they put the 3 skinny guys together, and we still didn't fit. So I gave up one night, and I just turned on Cartoon Network and watched Bluey all night until I fell asleep, because it was all that was on. Unless, you want to watch infomercials all night. But Yeah, it's forever going to be a Sonic Revolution memory for me now.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you love Bluey.
I
It's a
see
cute
Goken's
boy.
comment there. We should call it Bluey Revolution.
Just slowly converting everybody in the server to Bluey.
Sonic is dead.
Oh.
Look, I mean, same
No, Sonic just
color,
turned into a dog.
same-
That's all.
same color, same basic shape, similar personality. Neither of them really know what's going on. I mean, there are parallels.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, let's see. Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you guys. Are there any Sonic characters you relate to in terms of personality? Like, do you share like certain personality traits with certain Sonic characters?
Well, there's a reason why my whole entire live stream on Twitch is based around Knuckles. I have a Knuckles plush that fights me. I have the Knuckles necklace on, and we're always talking about how Knuckles don't chuckle and all that. Writing music for Sega and Sonic Team isn't the only dream I've ever had. I used to be a indie pro wrestler in my 20s, and so I kind of feel like I have that fighting spirit in me still. Sometimes I feel like I still have it anyway. And Knuckles likes music. Other than Knuckles, I'd say the next closest one would be Vector, if not Vector's closer.
Interesting.
My answer is actually really close to Pauly, but I was going to make a joke answer and say Ella, or is it Ellie from Sonic X? But
Oh.
Nice.
Vector, because obviously it's so close to my name that people make the joke anyway. But also, the male characters in Sonic satisfy quite well. Knuckles,
Vector
Shadow, yeah. Vector McCrocodile, yeah.
Wow, love it. I would like to really quickly rewind and ask further questions about this indie pro wrestling.
I thought
Yeah,
you were
sure.
about Bluey.
No, I would
Either
love
or.
to know a bit more about that because that is fascinating.
I live in fear. I don't know Bluey lore.
Right.
Bluey lore. The problem is it exists. There are websites.
Bluey as a wrestler. Who knew? Well, I started writing music in 2006, but I started training to be a pro wrestler in 2007, and I made my debut at Primos Hardcore Wrestling in 2008. What a ride that was. I spent 13 years doing it. And there were some parts of it that were cool. I got to hang out with Bret the Hitman Hart, Chavo Guerrero, Paul London, Chris Jericho, Matt Hardy, Mick Foley. The list goes on. And I've got to meet so many cool people. But back home, I'm what they consider a cruiserweight. I'm only 190 pounds, which sounds a lot, but it's still very small to be a wrestler. So
It's smaller than me.
See, point proven. But yeah, no, us cruiserweights weren't always seen as wrestlers because we didn't, quote, look the part. So there were some ups to it. I was on Canadian national television in 2014. And that was a lot of fun, but that was my one and only, I feel like that was my one and only accomplishment. Like, I won a few titles here and there, but locally, I wasn't treated all that well. I didn't have a lot of support. People that I called friends, they started a lot of drama with me. They threw me under the bus just so that they could hold a piece of leather with metal on it, a title belt, that, at that level means nothing. But, you get people with big egos and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I don't want to get too deep into it. I kind of retired in 2019 just because I felt like I could have had better. It was just months before that I went to my first ever Sonic Revolution, and people treated me so much better there. I'm sorry, I'm all getting emotional here.
Oh, it's
Give me a
okay.
second here. No, it's
Polly, I'm tackle hugging you the next time I see you.
I appreciate that. Nah, people in the Sonic community treat me so much better. I set foot in California for the first time in 2019. It's like people somehow knew me. They knew my face, they heard my music, and they liked what they heard. I was treated like a king, at least compared to, my stature as a pro wrestler. As a pro wrestler, you would probably compare me to Spike Dudley, always getting beat up, never going anywhere, never getting any big matches, and ridiculous gimmicks. There was one promoter who paid out of state, quote unquote, talent to come in and intentionally put me in the hospital, and that was a $2,000 bill. And I got out, and people were just laughing about it. Like, they wanted that to happen. And pro wrestling is a tough business. There's a lot of hierarchy in the industry. There's a lot of people. They think because they're bigger and muscle bound, they're much better than you, and because of that attitude, they are. It's the most unfortunate thing, but it wasn't a complete waste because it taught me a lot of life skills. It taught me how to push myself. It taught me discipline. It taught me how to properly promote myself, not just as a musician, but as a wrestler and as whatever else I want to be. So that's something I can carry with me, along with being a 9-time tag champion and 1-time United States champion. And being on Canadian television. That's pretty much my career in a nutshell. It got better in the middle, but when you spend 12 years of your life doing something, going through so much, just to find yourself back on square one as if nothing ever mattered, that's when you know it's time to move on. And the people in the Sonic community treated me so much better that I was like, in 2019, I was like, you know what? I deserve better than this. And I left the ring and I never came back. And ever since then, I've been full-fledged to being a musician. I want to make it to Sega, and I will do anything. If the scar on my head doesn't show, if the scar on my head doesn't prove that from the near-death experience I had in Canada due to the car accident. Oh yeah, that was something I never got into either. Yeah, the car accident in my travels, traveling through blizzards. Yeah, people didn't care about that either. But it's a sign, to me, it's a sign that I'm willing to go through anything to accomplish my dreams.
Right.
And
I vibe with that.
there you have it.
That's very inspiring. It's kind of like, you got yourself out of there, because it's like in Sonic Revolution, they are very welcoming people, and I'm pretty sure, having that opportunity to be able to do that concert for this year's Rebel in person event. I remember you were telling your story too to the attendees, I believe too, right?
I tried to, there was a lot of noise going on. I don't know how many people heard. I know that at least 6 people were tuned in, focused to the stage, but yeah, that and the concert, the fact that I'm an official member of the Sega Stream team and represent them in my live streams during charity events, the fact that my music has gotten so much love in the last couple years, and that I was able to perform at that concert to begin with. I mean, that compared to being a wrestler, this is just amazing,
Mm-hmm. It's really amazing that you helped Sega with the charity. That's really, I consider that an accomplishment for you, Pauly.
Those are a lot of fun, and everybody in the Sega community is just so nice, and like you said before, welcome in open arms. Mm-hmm. Everybody's amazing. You got to understand the work that they put in to make the games for our entertainment. And having that respect shown to them can be rewarding. And that's why they made me a member of the stream team. That's why I take part in these charity events. Because they told me that I showed enough respect to them to be on the team. So,
Wow, that is such great compliments from them, especially if it's people from Sega telling you that. That just shows that you're like you already got your foot in the door when you think about it.
well, here's to hoping I can get my whole body in.
You at least you have you already got your foot in the door at least by doing something like this. Like they've acknowledged that they have high respects for you for being able to help them out on those charity streams that you do. And I find that very amazing.
It's such an amazing feeling. It's almost like I found a purpose.
Yes. I can definitely agree. Ooh, Corin, would you like to read the question? I think it's from Doom.
God, there's so many. We were talking about wrestling for so long.
Yeah, that was a bit of a long story, but like I said, that was 13 years of my life.
What was the last question?
The question that got us here was, that's a great question itself. We were talking about cartoons, and then I doubled back to ask about Pauly's wrestling career because he mentioned it. Because I thought that was fascinating. Okay. Then Doom, we did ask that question already. We did already ask if there was anyone they wanted to work with that they hadn't. Then we talked about Bluey a lot. We're still talking about Bluey.
Bluey!
Still talking about Bluey. Oh, yeah. Okay. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. Doom asks, do you like jazz?
I see someone's a fan of Barry B. Benson.
That is right and proper. Everyone should be a fan of Barry B. Benson.
I watched that movie at 2 a.m. with a friend, and we laughed so hard.
The only time to watch that movie is at 2 a.m. when you are just so tired that nothing exists. That is the only time to watch that movie.
I remember, I forget, as Patrick Warburton plays a character in that movie. This is probably a serious question.
I have the whole internet at my command.
Patrick Warburton is in that movie, and there's a point where his character asks, when will this nightmare end? And it felt like such a visceral question for the audience that we just started laughing for like 30 minutes straight, and then we shut the movie off. Yes, I like jazz. If that's a serious question.
I can't tell if it's a serious question, but we should answer. But I say we answer it as if it's one, because that's the funniest meme.
Do you like jazz?
That was infinitely better than mine.
Let me put it this way. When I was growing up in music and I was taking like piano lessons and stuff, I was taught in the jazz genre. The jazz genre. Say that 10 times fast. But
I don't want to. My voice will crack and I'll cry.
Big oof. But yeah, no, it was what I was taught. So a lot of the things that I write are inspired by my jazz past. All the scales that I do in the solos and stuff, and the chords.
You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Leah.
Yes.
Do you have another question? If not, I'll go to Gokins.
Yes, I do.
All yours.
I'm curious, from both your guys' perspective, what makes the Sonic franchise's music stand out to you? Like, what is it about it that makes it stand out to you?
Pauly?
Thinking.
I'll go first here. I want to say high energy stuff. It's especially like really high energy, but I think probably its most notable quality, which is not even a shared quality, it's just sort of like, I don't know, a descriptor for all Sonic music is varied. It covers a lot of bases. You can find jazz, you can find rock, you can find, lo-fi. Sonic music is very welcoming to any listener.
I agree. And it's very pleasant to listen to. Like it's very easy listening. It fits Sonic. It has a great style. Everything from the rock to the hip hop to the drum and bass, of course. Like Victor just said, there's so many styles, and it's various. And I feel like there's not enough of that in the video game industry.
Mm.
Oh, my cat is being obnoxious. This happened last time I was on a stream with you guys.
The number of times I have been doing Sonic Revo panels and then talked about these annoying little creatures, it's always my cats trying to knock over my stuff.
He's like right in front of the mic right now. Hold on.
Hi, baby!
Hey, buddy. Oh, he chirped.
You sure?
I like to introduce my cats as my puppies.
Member of this stream.
Hey, everybody needs a puppy break. I say this on my stream all the time.
It's important.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was a relatively like universal question. It's like, what do you think makes the Sonic music so inviting? Is that it's varied.
Mhm. That I can agree. Like, they don't just stick to just one genre of music. It also depends on the game. Sometimes they'll go, to other genres of music, and I think it's as you guys said, it really stands out because of that. Because I know with like other franchises, like Kingdom Hearts, for example, they use more orchestra music, for a lot of their music, and Sonic does a whole variety of genres of music, so that makes a lot of sense.
You might still hear my cat right now. I'm so sorry.
Yes, and I love him.
Hold on, I don't mind being on camera here, but let's see.
I do have one thing to say about that last question. Oh, there he is.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah,
Look at his little face.
Oh.
Such a floof. Such a good floof.
He's
Good
like,
foofy.
he really wants attention right now. He's just rubbing his face into my arm, and he's aggressive about it too. It's like bro,
That's our want to do. When they want attention, damn it, they're gonna get it.
It's always when we're busy, is it?
100% of the time. Guaranteed.
I think he's only doing this because he wants a second can of food too.
Oh.
That sounds right.
Oh, Polly, you said you wanted to add?
Oh yeah, to the last question there. There's just something about Sonic music that just makes you feel good, It's just great sounding and immersive. And to prove this, I dare you to listen to the Mega Collection theme and tell me there's not something mystic about it.
Oh yes, I've actually listened to that. It sounds very mystical, and that's something I never expected from like a Sonic game.
So that was Hideaki Kobayashi, who actually does. I think he still does work for the Sonic series to this day. Yep. He's just part of like the Sega Sound team as a whole.
Ooh, nice.
He also did work on my favorite all-time video game, Sonic Advance 3.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, he did. I think in terms of Sega franchises besides Sonic, he's most notable for Phantasy Star.
That's true too.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Here is my next question for you guys. Which Sonic character is your favorite and why?
Knuckles,
Oh, boy.
because Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles and
Yeah, I think we
lots of
already asked
Knuckles.
this question.
I can't debate against that. Yeah, I as a kid, I really liked Knuckles and Shadow, and I don't think much has changed about that. Knuckles and Shadow.
Nice.
Oh, I
like
should also
Knuckles
note
over aggression and Shadow's edge.
over aggression. That's putting it lightly. I have to say Knuckles, otherwise my plush toy here beats me up.
Oh. Violence.
Ooh, okay.
Oh no, he heard that.
Wait, who?
He turned on his video for a second.
Oh.
The Knuckles plushie is coming for him.
Yeah, we're
Actually, yeah, that plush
I
is
see.
huge.
Yeah, wow, I didn't realize how big it was.
Okay.
hold on. I'm having a little trouble with my push to talk here. Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
There he is,
Wow.
and the space button works. Do 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 do.
Hey.
Yes, he did it. There he is.
I want to say, is that okay? We're kind of going off topic here. Hold on. I'm grabbing my plushie, and it's huge.
You think that we're gonna stay on topic during a Sonic panel?
Okay, is that the Knuckles version of this, which is this huge guy, life-size Sonic?
Oh, he is huge.
Oh,
He's a
snap.
big boy.
I think this guy was a Toy Network, and I think he was for Sonic X.
Oh.
Do you have the Sonic X plushie, Polly? Polly, I can't hear you, sweetie.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I forgot to press the talk. Yes, I did have. I have the Sonic one in my room. I also have Shadow and Amy. It also had an Amy that was like half size. I won all of them at an amusement park in 2008 by playing whack-a-mole.
Oh wow, so that's
Incredible.
Nice.
I
That's
love
probably,
that for you.
that's probably the Sonic 06 plushes then, right?
Possibly. I can't. I took the tags off like a long time ago. So
So you know
Okay.
which plushie it is just by the time period, Victor. I almost just called you Vector. Oh my god.
That happens. I mean, my dad calls me by the dog, so
but yeah, it's the same. It's the same exact model that you just held up, Victor. Yeah, it's the same one.
it's got the plastic eyes and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plastic eyes and the weak stitching with fishing line.
The really weak stitching. I'm like struggling to keep mine together.
Yeah, I have Knuckles' arms taped up because like the inside of his glove like tore open, and I can't get in there to sew it shut, so I just have tape on it.
Oh. Okay. Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you guys. When you brainstorm on new music, can you tell us like the entire process of how you brainstorm when you're composing new music? So for those who are curious.
I want to say it's different every time.
Ooh, different.
Sometimes you start with a drum beat, sometimes you start with a chord progression, sometimes you start with a melody. For me, I haven't really honed in on a method yet. I think most people would look at me and say that I've got it all figured out, but I really don't. I kind of just write and hope it works.
It's true. It's completely random. Like sometimes I start from like the middle of the beginning somewhere, then I work backwards, then I work forwards. The best way that I can say to get into like my mind and my process is to tune into my live streams. I make music on my live streams sometimes, and the next one coming up is going to be Windmill Isle from Sonic Unleashed. I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, that's the one that I want the violinist.
Ooh. Nice. That's really cool. You heard it here, folks. PaulyB's next live stream is going to be Windmill Isle.
Fancy.
Okay. Looks like there's...
So Goken had a question that I accidentally passed over. Sorry, Goken. And Goken's question is, for the both of you, what is your ultimate long-term goal?
Ooh, that's a great
Sega.
Yeah, I figured that was the answer. I just felt I had to ask.
Yeah, that's all good. I mean, anything Sonic related. So, I mean, this could be the Sonic movie. This could be, working with Sega. This could be working with a studio that works with Sega. Just, I want to be part of Sonic's history in some way.
Nice.
That's pretty much my answer exactly. Like, Sonic Team, that's the ultimate goal. Anything Sega, that's like the step before. Anything video game related, like say if I were in talks with people at Sunsoft or Square Enix or something, that would be doable as long as it worked towards writing music for Sonic Team.
Ooh. That's really cool that you both do want to work for Sega.
That's the place to go to make official Sonic music, right?
What is this, like a Sonic stream or something?
Yeah, weird.
What's a Sonic?
I want to say like long-term goals. I mean, if I don't work at Sega in my lifetime, it's like I'm not gonna be sad over it. I'm happy doing what I do, just writing original songs about things I'm passionate about, and hopefully people like them.
Mm-hmm. I always tell people, do what you love because you love doing it. Because you're passionate about doing it.
Exactly. That's how I see life. That's why I was a pro wrestler before this.
It's really cool that you guys have those long-term goals, and both your guys' music is just astounding. Like
Thank you.
Whenever a new one comes out, oh yes, we need to play these. That's why I always ask Pauly, like, whenever's audience requests for cartoon nights, because we do play like people's content and everything. So I think
you guys do a good job mixing it up, like showcasing so many people in the community.
Yes, we do want to, represent as many Sonic content creators, whether if it's like comic dubs or if it's like, original music or even like song covers or etc. Like we do want to, be able to give people that chance for Sonic Revolution's cartoon night.
Hashtag knowing smile, only because, we've been in talks about coming up with something for cartoon nights as well.
Yeah. Wink, wink. Wink, wink. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is a good question for those who are curious. What instruments do you play if you guys play any instruments?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw on the camera a minute ago, but I have this keyboard, this Casio keyboard behind me that I've had since 1998. I probably mentioned before that I also took piano lessons as a kid. So, yeah, I have a lot of experience with the piano. I have an acoustic guitar over here, too, but I don't play that as much. You guys have seen me bring my keyboard, actually, to the concerts.
Oh, yes, I did see it, actually, yeah. Cool.
I think for me, actually quite similar to Pauly. I used to take piano lessons as a kid as well. I play quite a bit of keyboard, but it was sort of like patchy. Like if you ask me to play like a full melody for sheet music, I'd be able to do it just really slowly. Otherwise, I played a lot of violin growing up. And before Pauly cuts me to the chase, no, I will not be on your track for violin because I'm not that great. I am severely out of practice, and all I have is this electric violin at this point that I haven't played in like 4 years.
Oh.
Oh, it's never too late to get back into it.
Oh, that's really cool. I actually played like two instruments too when I was younger. I actually played violin back when I was in elementary school, and then I played a bit of clarinet and marching band. So
This cat, I'm so sorry.
oh no, you're
That
all
was
good.
adorable.
Apologize.
He
He
just-
is a valued member of this stream. He belongs here.
He just like, hold on, let me turn on the camera here. He just like pushed the microphone away, like into me. So, there's that. Hold on, let me-
Nice.
buddy.
Baby, I love you.
Do you want attention? Talk. Where's the money? Alright,
Ooh, okay.
We got
Here's-
to have
My
our
soul.
money.
What do you want? I love you.
Ooh, okay.
trying to knock down things. Okay.
Uh-oh.
We're fine.
You know, I find it funny. I'm over here. I'm like, I'm planning on having a violinist for my Windmill Isle remix, and then I hear both you, Victor, and you, Leah. Oh, we play violin.
It's been a long time. I'm like Victor. I'm way out of practice. I only played it when I was like in fourth grade.
I do know a really good cellist, if you're interested in that, but
Possibly. I do have somebody in mind already. I just gotta ask. I haven't asked yet. I don't know if you've heard of String Player Gamer, but he's so talented.
he's great.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, I'm thinking of asking him.
Ooh, cool. That's cool. Ooh, here is something. Here's my next question for you guys. What do you like to do in your free time, outside of composing music?
So I've been struggling to. It's been so long since I've had free time that during my break, I've actually been like struggling to find what to do with my free time. So recently, this is total random tangent. Okay, my cat is now rubbing his face against a bag of goldfish. Hold on. There we go. I've been watching Lost for the first time.
Ooh.
And then
Yeah, I
after
remember
that, I don't
show.
know. I don't know what I'll do. Probably play Sonic Frontiers so it's DLC.
Ooh,
Well,
yes.
I mean, of course, playing Sonic games. I mean, of course, that's what we do outside of our time. Well, I gotta say, I recently got a job back in April as a janitor for an office building, and I gotta say, I absolutely love it. Other than that, other than playing games, I live in Colorado, so really close to a lot of good hiking spots in the mountains. It keeps you fit, and you get to see a lot of beautiful, land. I touch grass a lot.
I don't.
Grass a lot. You heard it here first, folks. He touches
go.
grass a lot.
I played the applause forgetting that my soundboard doesn't work.
Oh.
Wah, 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 wah.
I forgot to mention that I am, now that I say I forgot to mention, I forgot again. This is awkward. What else am I doing in my free time? Oh yeah, Pokemon. I'm playing a lot of Pokemon. Working on this is sort of specific to the Pokemon franchise, but I'm working on getting all the generational ribbons on a Dragonite, which is a certain type of Pokemon, and ribbons are like achievements. Getting it all the way from 2003 all the way up to 2023.
Oh wow! So it's a
Every-
long quest.
Every available ribbon.
How far are you? I need to know. This is
Uh,
an incredible quest.
So it is a shiny Dragonite, and I got all the Gen 3 ribbons except for the Coliseum and XD ribbon, the Earth ribbon, which I've never played that game, and apparently I only need to play one of them to get the ribbon. So I'm thinking Gale of
There
Darkness.
you have it.
Ooh,
And then I go up to Gen 4. We are Gen 9, for reference.
I was about to say, and Gen 4 ribbons, the freaking contest ribbons, those are hard to get.
Oh yeah, so I've heard. They're a lot like Gen 3, apparently.
Yeah, and I thought Gen 3 was tough.
That's really cool. You gotta love Pokemon, you know. Pokemon is.
You gotta catch them all, and then you gotta go fast doing it.
Yeah.
You do. You gotta catch them all and go fast doing it.
If you guys knew how many hours I put into Pokemon, you'd think I was disgusting.
No, I would not, because I promise you I've probably put a similar number.
I have 1,400 hours in Pokemon Shield alone.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Hold on. Shield, I only have 1,000 on Shield. But I know I've got more in, like, 4. Gen 4 is my big one. Sorry. Talking about Pokemon. Got excited.
It's all good. It's my favorite Sonic character. Sorry, my favorite Bluey character. I don't know anything about Bluey, so...
Let it be known, everybody, there is now a Bluey Sonic Venn diagram. Tell your friends. Put it in Revo. Don't explain. Don't explain to anybody. Just talk about Bluey and Revo.
Dress Bluey up in a Sonic outfit and make it a meme.
Yeah.
After this stream, give me your Switch friend code.
I will.
Because
Yeah,
I need more Pokemon friends.
Totally, yeah.
Ooh, let's see. Since we are on the topic of Pokemon, I'm curious. Do you have a favorite Pokemon?
Dragonite.
Feels
Seal
this is like
or
a
Dugong.
better question than anything to know who a person truly is.
Oh wait, what did you say, Polly?
I said Seal / Dugong.
Oh, Seal and Dugong. Nice.
It's
nice.
actually because it was my first exposure to Pokemon. I don't know if you 90s kids remember when KFC had these little Happy Meal Pokemon plush toys.
I just got a Happy Meal Pokemon card like 3 days ago.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Sorry.
Hang on to that one. No, you're good. Yeah, back in '99 when Pokemon was first introduced to America, KFC had these plushes. There was Vulpix, Zubat, Dratini, and Seal. And I was a little late getting to it, so when I got there, Seal was the last one left. So basically, Seal is my Pikachu to Ash.
Oh.
Incredible story. Thank you for sharing.
I got more of them.
I
Wow.
love that for you. Genuinely.
That's cool because I never even heard about that. Like all I remember, like back in like the late 90s, I think it was like when the first movie came out. They had like I think in Burger King they had the Pokeball and it had like the gold card in it of like I think several of the Pokemon.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, like that's the only one I remember. I did not know about the KFC thing, so this is the first time I've heard of this. I was like, I did not know this. How did
It didn't last very long. Everybody wanted them, so they kind of ran out very quickly. That's why Seal was the only one left when I got there.
Ah, but that's cool. That's a really cute story because I'm like, I've never heard of these. Like, I never heard of KFC actually giving out Pokemon plushes. I did not know
Need
this.
to do that again. They should do that again. Hey,
They should, I agree.
Just fast food places, please give us Pokemon plushies. I will
Yes.
go buy your fast food. Give me a Pokemon plushie.
And give us some Pokemon that aren't that popular. You know, I've been dying for a Bellsprout plush for a long time.
Ooh, a Bellsprout. I'm curious why a Bellsprout. I'm curious, Polly.
Because Bellsprout is funny.
He is
Look at
pretty
him.
silly looking.
oh, oh my
That's
god.
fair.
That's truly. Oh my god. But that's really cool. So basically, Seal was like your introduction to Pokemon. That's pretty
Pretty
cool.
much.
We all have that Pokemon that introduces us into the Pokemon franchise.
Man, I had no idea what Pokemon was. The neighbor kids all had them, and I didn't want to be left out, so let's go to KFC and get one of those Pokemon plushes. Oh, they had the other ones, yeah. They had Vulpix, they had Zubat, they had Dratini.
Oh, I'm
Ooh,
sure people fought over Dratini.
Yeah.
Probably. The
Yeah.
Zubat one, in my opinion, the Zubat one was the coolest because it was like a plush for the body, and then his wings could actually like move up and down and flap backwards, forwards.
Oh,
Sure. But
that's-
consider, Polly, consider. It's a Zubat.
Well, yeah, like nowadays
no one
we know.
wants a Zubat.
Well, now that Pokemon is like what, almost 30 years old, it's 27 years old. Yeah, now we know that.
yeah.
True, now we know that. Although I feel like we knew that in Gen 1. Zubats were friggin' everywhere.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
hate those things.
Sorry.
I'll have
It's
to
like
agree.
I just want to get out of Mount Moon. Get out of my way.
You know, right? There's like an abundance of them. I remember that when I played like the first generation of Pokemon on my Game Boy Color, and I'm just like, yeah, why are there so many Zubats in this area? It's like I'm kind of like it's like, should there be other Pokemon instead of just this one in this area?
To be fair, you better fight them or you will be in no condition to face Misty.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
That's pretty interesting to know, Polly. I did not know that. Oh, okay. So Gogan said, I was introduced to Pokemon on that red and blue commercial. Ooh, nice. Nice.
I have a really weird memory of like Pokemon that my brother and I quote regularly.
Ooh, what is it?
Do you remember when Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold were being promoted? And they had Dylan and Cole Sprouse. And they were talking about playing each respective version, but it's so clear that they weren't fans because they weren't saying Pokemon, they were saying Pokemon.
Japanese
I knew some kids that did
pronunciation.
that.
Maybe they were just
So-
trying to be faithful to the language. I don't know. Don't judge.
The kids in my school called them Pokemans.
Now that we judge for.
That's like my grandma's like Pokemon, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'd like
it's-
to note that on the Sonic panel about Sonic music with two Sonic music creators, we did just spend 15 minutes talking about Pokemon. I do just want to say that we did that.
And next up, Star Wars opinions. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you guys. What's from your guys' opinion, what is the most difficult thing about being a musician? I'm very curious to know.
Keeping the sound fresh, making things sound like you have variety. There's a lot of tracks that I made back in like 2021, 2020 that they do kind of sound the same, especially with like the lyrics. There was one song that I have the instrumentals done back in 2019. I still have them. I still have the instrumentals. I realized that the lyrics I was writing were too repetitive. Like I put some stuff in my Tropical Resort remix, my Ice Mountain remix, and I just kind of mashed them all together. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna scrap this whole thing. I'm gonna start anew. Guess what? I don't have any lyrics for it. So that's another project I don't want to abandon. So that's in my list as well.
Ooh.
What was the question again?
Hardest thing about being a musician.
Writing lyrics for me.
Mm. Like,
Lyrics
is
can
it,
I
be
know
hard
it's
sometimes.
super short answer, but it's like, it is pretty easy. Writing lyrics.
like, is it kind of like, you can't, you have so many, like, you have the words in your head, but you can't put it down on paper? Is it something like that, or is it more complex than that?
So let's say it's kind of a mixture of like writing lyrics, which can be as simple as writing poetry, but getting the right pattern down, getting the right leaving space for breaths, getting the right rhythm down, something catchy, and making sure it works well with lyrics. Because I could write poetry any day, but to make it work in a piece of music is something else.
I agree.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna let my cat out really quick because now he's meowing at me.
Oh.
The
Oh no,
beast.
angry kitty.
Let's see. Okay.
Your cat just wants more attention.
My dog's just over here sleeping.
Ooh, okay. There are no new questions, chat.
No, I'm keeping an eye.
Okay. Let's see. Ooh, okay. I'm curious, what do you guys think is the most rewarding thing when it comes to being a musician? I'm curious.
That's a good question. Probably
That
the
is a
people
good
I
question.
meet. It's a pretty another really short answer, but the people I meet, similar to conventions that I attend, it's always nice to meet people that can share in that interest.
It's true. Content creation has brought the entire Sonic community together, and it's fun to share music, art, voice acting. It's fun to share what you can do and contribute. That is a good feeling. I like that answer.
Hey, it's really good. It's like you said, like the Sonic community like comes together, because we all have different types of content. Of course, we have the artistic aspect, with doing actual artworks. We also have people who make music like you guys do, making your own sonic music as well, which is really cool, and that's why it's like you guys said, it really brings the community together because we all come from like these different, like, you could say like departments or categories. Like there's people who, of course, we have Sonic IDW, we have the comics, we have the movies, we have the games. So all of these different medias kind of like blend in together in a way, and it really is rewarding.
I agree.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Yes.
I agree
ooh,
too, by the way. Sorry.
you're all
No,
good.
it brings me back a little bit to like when I was telling my story about being a wrestler compared to my first time at Sonic Revolution when people they treated me like they knew me, they heard my music, and they were ecstatic with what they heard. Oh, it was such a good feeling. It's like, wow, I'm actually doing something.
Hmm.
Yeah, and to be there on stage. Haha.
Yeah, that's true
I was
too.
not there.
I wasn't on stage in 2019. I was just another face in the crowd back then.
Again, Paula, you're getting like the biggest hug from me when I see you again, okay?
Fair enough.
And if you want to attend Sonic Expo, just like let me know and I'll see if I can help.
I would love to. I'll definitely let you know like my situation with like the move and what funds I have in like my car because I got to get that looked at some point.
Mm. All right, so here is my next question for you guys. Which other Sonic media are your favorites other than the Sonic game?
Sonic movie. I I really like the Sonic movies.
I'm really
Ooh.
glad that they came out with those. Those are amazing. But I
They're
do love
great
I
for
love the
no reason.
cartoons myself. Ever since Adventure of Sonic, ever since Saturday morning, I've just been hooked on the cartoons.
Ooh, nice. Hey, that's cool. Yeah, the movies are amazing, like the fact is that they kind of have some of the concepts from the games, but it does its own spin and it actually works, in the movie verse for Sonic.
It's a
Like,
unique story. It makes you think, oh, this is what would happen if Sonic was here on Earth, which I know for a fact a lot of people, think about. I certainly did when I was in high school.
mhm. Because I know we were all thinking, what would an actual, a Sonic movie actually be like? It could be like, because we all thought it was going to be like animated, you know, but they kind of went with like a mix of CGI and live action, and and you got to admit though, like, you have to admit that Tyson Hess saved the movie Sonic design in that aspect. So
I will say I liked Ugly Sonic's appearance in the Alvin movie.
Alvin.
that was
Or yeah, the Chipmunks.
Chip
You
and
getting your
Dale.
chipmunks confused?
Yeah.
I think it's Chip and Dale.
Oh, we all
I
know Alvin's
showed
the star.
that movie, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Made.
That's what it was, Chip and Dale Rescue.
I watched it twice in the same day, and the second time was with my brother and dad. And there's a point in that movie where the villain gets shredded, and he screams, and he's voiced by J.K. Simmons. And it's so visceral. And I looked over at my dad, and he has this look of terror on his face because it's so violent. But yeah, the only reason I made them watch that was for Ugly Sonic.
Of course.
That movie's okay. There's nothing special about it, but
Yeah, like it's pretty cool that, the Sonic franchise has like all these different media, other aside from the game, because it did start out as just games, and then they added, the comics, which of course back then it was like, back then it was Archie, and then now we have IDW, and then of course the two Sonic movies that came out, and then of course we have the cartoons, and the cartoons, they've been like, they all have like interesting takes, and of course we did do a marathon of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog to celebrate its 30 years
I
for
was there. I
Revolution.
absolutely loved it.
The fact is that we literally broke Fang in
I
that
remember that
cartoon.
too.
That was glorious. And then now, of course, this Friday we are actually doing Sonic Sat AM, which both of the first two Sonic TV shows, cartoons, actually came out the same year, and it's pretty crazy. It's like 30 years.
And even
Oh,
then, they had their differences. Like, I feel like Saturday Morning Sonic, it was a little more dramatic. It was a little more, well, I already said it, dramatic. I don't know what other word could use for it. A little more serious, whereas Adventures of Sonic was just, more comedic.
yeah.
But I gotta say, I will always praise Jaleel White for his work because he's like, he's like video game version of Bugs. He made Sonic video game version of Bugs Bunny, basically.
Yeah. That
His
I can
antics,
agree.
though.
Yes, I can definitely agree on that. But that's cool that Victor, that you love the movies. The movies have an interesting take on them, and I enjoyed it too. And of course the cartoons. The cartoons are really amazing too. So that's really cool. It's just Sonic has like so much media now,
That's
because
true.
that it's it's just crazy how it has evolved like over like so many years now since it's been around. So
You know what
that's
else is entertaining? The Sonic TikTok. That giant mascot costume.
oh oh yes. Have you guys seen I'm curious to know what is your guys like impression on that Sonic and Friends thing that they're doing on the TikTok?
Oh yeah,
I
good
love it.
question. Yeah, I think it's adorable. I'm definitely its target audience, so I approve.
Ooh. I see.
I mean, it's for kids. So I'm not gonna watch it, but I think it looks adorable. I genuinely think people on Twitter were getting really upset by it, but it's like, well, it's not for you. And Sonic is multimedia for
Yeah.
all ages. So
Yeah.
Exactly. It's for everyone. And they can take a break from, catering to the teens and the adults and focus on the kids a little bit. I mean, sure, Sonic is no Barney, but I mean, he works out very well with the kids. He's in tune with them.
hmm Like, I'm pretty sure. Did you guys see that video on TikTok where they were? I think it was like they were doing the Baby Shark. It was like a snippet or something. I found that really cute from the Sonic and Friends.
I don't think I've seen them all, but I'm not an avid TikTok user, so everything that I've seen from Sonic and Friends I've seen through Twitter. So I might have missed that one, but I have seen the one where they all like gang up on Eggman with those evil faces.
Oh,
I
yes.
saw that picture for the first time recently and have been genuinely terrified.
Oh,
It's Sonic.exe in person.
Genuinely terrifying.
Ooh. Okay. Then. Okay, so we still don't have any questions. Okay.
I'm keeping an eye.
Here is my next question for you guys. What is your favorite non-Sonic game?
oh frick.
Anything Sega.
Yeah, I think Sega's pretty good. I have, dare I say, 3 or 4 different answers.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, I love the Pokemon franchise. I like.
Let's say 1,400 hours and you're not going to say Pokemon, my dude?
There's things that beat it, but I like more RPGs like Final Fantasy. I mean, obviously, that's what got me into music. But only a select handful of Final Fantasies because I still have yet to play most of them. I really like Halo, especially the original.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Halo 1. Yeah, love that. I've actually considered speedrunning that game, but what else? Super Monkey Ball. I really like Super Monkey Ball.
Oh, I love Super Monkey Ball.
All right, let me think here. Sega games, at least. I've been really, really getting into the Yakuza series lately. It's so fun, and I love the story.
Yakuza!
Three
Yakuza!
things about that.
Kiryu-chan!
I forgot to completely mention one of my new all-time favorite games, like up there, and it won't change, is Tears of the Kingdom. Go play Tears of the Kingdom. That game is like one of my new favorites.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
See, other than
I
Sega
probably go
games,
on.
yeah, no, I'm good. I do like Pokemon, as you stated, of course. Who doesn't like Pokemon? I mean, that was our childhoods. That was our whole
Whole
childhoods.
15-minute
Yeah.
conversation about how great Pokemon is.
Exactly. Yeah, we pretty much hijacked a Sonic stream and made it a Pokemon stream. I like Conker's Bad Fur Day quite a bit. My brother's been trying to steal the game from me for years, but I have it protected.
You have the original Nintendo 64 version?
Yep.
Okay, so you've paid off college. You got it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why my brother wants it so bad.
I got the remake.
Oh, nice. That's a good one too. I like the graphics. Let's see. I want to take a look into my little pile here. My Game Boy Advance has the biggest library. I have Metroid Fusion. I have all the Mario games. I have where is my big old? Here we go. Let's see, Mega Man Battle Network's in here. Oh, Mega Man. That's another great franchise right there. Let's see, Dynasty Warriors, Final Fantasy V. Oh, that's a rare one. There's a lot of really good ones out there. I mean, there's too many to list in just this live stream.
Ooh, nice. I'm curious, Victor. Which Final Fantasy game is your favorite from the ones you have played?
Okay, so a lot of these I haven't beaten is the thing. I've only beaten 3 different Final Fantasy games. And one of them was recent. I think my all-time favorite, just because I've played it like 6 times over, is the 4.
Ooh.
My first exposure to it was the DS version, which is like super hard, apparently, which is funny because then I went backwards. I played the Game Boy Advance version, beat that immediately, played the PSP version, I've played the Steam version, I've played the other Steam version, and I've played the Switch version. But then there's Final Fantasy the original. I also played the Switch version. Thought it was okay. Final Fantasy 3 I've also beaten. 7 I haven't beaten, I really like. And 15 I really like.
Ooh.
And that's it.
Ooh.
Those are all pretty good ones, but you left out 8, which is my favorite, personally.
I do. Oh, wow, really? I am a little judgmental. No offense.
It's okay. Hot take.
That's all good.
Oh my god.
Oh, and Final Fantasy 4 Years of Light on the Nintendo DS, which is one that nobody knows about really, but it's sort of like the predecessor to the Bravely Default series.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is another good RPG. So I really like that
I've
one.
always wanted to try.
It's very good.
That's cool. I'm curious. Would you are you interested in playing the FF7 remake games? I'm curious.
Oh boy. Fun fact, I'm friends with one of the voice actors. Shout out to Austin Lee Matthews. He voices Roche in the remake.
Wow. You're actually friends with one of the voice actors from 7 Remake? What?
They are the sweetest. Yeah, I mean, it is easily their biggest role, which is cool. The remake I played a little bit of, but it's so different from the original that I have a hard time playing it. Because I'm a completionist, and with that game, it's like, if you're completing it, it's like a 200-hour game. And now there's a part 2, and a DLC. And I'm just like, oh, frick, I didn't even finish part 1. So I don't know. I really want to see an Xbox version, because that would help.
I like that idea.
But that's really cool. That's pretty surprising. You're actually I actually love Roche in the 7 remake.
Oh, yeah. Roche is great. I had the biggest smile on my face when that character got introduced because I was like, oh my gosh, that's my friend. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this character is awesome. Oh my gosh, my friend is voicing this awesome character. And yeah.
That's
Go
great.
follow Austin Lee Matthews on Twitter if you haven't already.
That is definitely it's 7 remake is definitely very different from the original, but I think that's the point because it kind of does say it in the title itself, remake.
Yeah, it's just like I think reimagined would have been a better way to put it, but
Yeah, but I think with the way that they with the way the story is, I think remake makes a lot of sense. To in the context of the story. I'm not going to spoil anything for those who do want to play it. But that's really cool that you played at least some of the Final Fantasy. That's very interesting to know. Because and I find it cool that it's because of the Final Fantasy music kind of also helped you get into you creating music yourself.
oh yeah, yeah, those
So
compositions are beautiful.
yeah.
Specifically, this is a little specific, but the Legend of the Eternal Wind from Final Fantasy III is the song that got me into composition. And I say that
Ooh.
with high praise for that song. It's very pretty.
Ooh.
Wow, that is a good one.
Yeah. Final Fantasy music, it's always so beautiful to listen to those music. And they just get it down every time. Whenever a new Final Fantasy game comes out, they always nail it with their music. For sure. Ooh, what? Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you guys. When people listen to your music, do they take away different meanings from your music than you intended?
That's always my goal, to be honest.
Ooh.
Because, like, some would argue that it's lazy songwriting, but I've always felt that anytime you have to explain what a song means, you're taking that away. You're taking that chance away from the audience.
Agreed.
Unless, of course,
100%.
like, it's written very specifically and deliberately about a personal thing, and you want to keep it that way, then I can very much understand explaining it. But if a song helps somebody cope with, say, the passing of a loved one, or maybe some other significant emotional moment in their life, then who am I to take that away from them? Like, I'm glad the song means that to them.
Ooh. That's cool, Victor.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Like, I feel a mix of both. Like, for instance, my Sky Chase remix was very personal and emotional, and I tried to demonstrate that within that song. But then there's other tracks like the multiplayer theme from Sonic Advance 3 that I did before that, and people were like, "Oh, this could be like a very comedic piece for like if everybody just started fighting each other." In the video, I have in the video for it, I have Tails carrying Cream by her feet, and just like drops her at the end. So that wasn't the intention, but it works. My intention there was just tough multiplayer battle, between friends.
Mm, that's cool. Yeah, like I know when sometimes when I'm listening to music, sometimes I sometimes have different take or different meaning than what the musician intended it for it to be. Like say for example, someone creates a song and then and it's supposed to invoke certain emotions, but from other people's perspective, they kind of have these other emotions when they listen to the music. It's always good to hear that.
No doubt. Like, I don't doubt you for a second, because, like, with every song, there's like the first question is, well, what's the song's theme? And I'm not talking like melodic theme. I'm talking like more like, what are you going to write it about?
Mhm.
And that could be very different from how the song is perceived by the audience, which I think is really cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of reviews on all my stuff, especially Newgrounds. And yeah, some people take like music that's intended to be like adrenaline pumping and fast paced, and yeah, they're going through a tough time and they're listening to that the whole time, and then that means more to them, and that means more to me.
Mm, that's good.
If you ever want to talk about like what a song means to you, I wrote a song about a goose once, and I'm not going to elaborate further, but it got really popular.
Can you please elaborate further?
I wrote a song called Honk Honk and Goose. I wrote it in less than a day and got it finished that day with a singer.
Is that anywhere? I feel like we all
It's on Spotify. And Katie from Sonic Team found it on Spotify, heard it, messaged me, and said, "Did you write this?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "I love it." And who am I to take that away from her? I think I wrote something really stupid, but it emotionally impacted someone else. I mean, it was sort of a joke song, but you know, it was written to be beautiful and graceful.
I love when that happens.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's really up to the listener to decide what your song means to them.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's good but dangerous to put your foot in the sand and be like, well, this is what the song means. You're wrong. It's like, well, music is objective at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the truth of it.
That's really cool.
Shout out to Katie, by the way.
Oh, Katie!
What's up, Katie?
Yeah, it was like that was the funniest message I received that day. Because she wasn't looking for my Spotify or anything. It just popped up. It wasn't my Sonic songs. It was just a song about a goose.
But those are best. The ridiculous ones are best.
Yeah, I remember thinking to myself, like, oh man, it wasn't a Sonic song. It's like 90% of my discography is Sonic songs. But no, she landed on the song I wrote about a goose. And
but hey, if Katie loved the song, you know that just shows that she appreciated it.
It's always those strange and obscure ones that are just like the hidden gems of anybody's discography.
Oh my gosh, yes! Like I think one of the has to be the Peaches song from Super Mario Brothers movie.
that's actually fairly similar
Nice.
to what Zeus is. Anyway, I did it first, Jack Black. I will be suing.
Good. That's right, you should. Get your money. Get your money's worth.
I wrote it back in 2019, though. Oh my god, it's got over 100,000 streams, too. Okay, I didn't check that in a while. Yeah. Let me, can I link that in the chat really quick for those that are interested?
Yeah, go
Sure.
for it.
Okay, thank you.
So that's really but still if you get compliments from people from Sega.
Compliments from people from Sega about a silly goose song.
Yeah.
There a game about a goose, like
That's what I wrote
nobody
the
feels
song
silly
about,
and stuff,
It's a wonderful
but
day to be a terrible
That's
goose.
the- yeah.
I called the song Honk Honk.
I think I saw
So-
Katie streaming that once.
Oh.
Yeah, that might have been why she saw it. I don't know.
Oh, that's really cool. And unfortunately, we will have to end this Q&A. Or
Oh man, this
I
was
know
so
these are so
fun.
much
So
fun. Yes.
far off topic.
Yeah, honestly, this is the most fun
What we
Q&A
covered
that
here,
I've
we
been a part
covered
of.
Bluey,
Pokemon.
maybe a little bit of Sonic.
Pokemon for sure.
Pokemon.
Yeah, so it was a pleasure to have you both for this, Polly and Victor.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
having
Everyone,
us. This was a
applause
blast.
in the chat for Victor and Polly. Applause in the chat. There's like nobody here, but applause in the chat.
I'm pressing the button, I assure you.
I believe you. I believe you totally.
And I would also love to give round of applause for Corin. I appreciate you co-hosting this.
Yay.
Thank you.
This is actually my chest, by the way.
And also give a big shout out to Chris here for live streaming.
Who has been silently lurking
Thank you,
this
Chris.
whole time. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
He's definitely MVP for my live streams. And of course, the next thing for the next live stream will be the second episode of Sonic Lore with Radar, which we are going to be talking about the lore of the Dreamcast era. And of course, I will be joined with Sonic Boone for that one. So come tune in on next Monday at 5 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. ET here on my YouTube channel. So hopefully you guys tune in for that. It's going to be so much fun talking about the Dreamcast era of Sonic lore. Radar is really, he is basically a Sonic Wikipedia. And
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, that is 100% true.
Yeah, so and hopefully I will hopefully find out soon when I can do the next Lucky Charm podcast, which is basically a miraculous podcast, which I did the first episode with Chris and the Cartoon Hotspot. So, and Cartoon Hotspot is my special guest for that live stream. So hopefully I can find for the next one and for that one. So hopefully you'll have a wonderful night. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. I'm just going to post one more link in the chat real quick. I came out with a new song today.
Links for everybody.
Woohoo!